Now, last month, 20 false killer whales were stranded on a beach in Cape Town. And after trying to refloat the whales, unfortunately, rescue workers were forced to euthanize some of the surviving whales. Now, a company called Audio Visual Alchemy created a short film that investigates what happens to the stranded whales. Let's take a look.
One of the first things that was done was that a couple of vets and a couple of marine biologists went through and carried out what we call triage. And in triage, what we do is we look at the condition of each animal and we really categorize them in terms of how likely they are to survive.
The public gets very emotionally involved with each animal that they are trying to rescue, and it's very understandable. They must just realize it's their own emotions. It's not the emotions of the animal. That animal is just in pain and suffering. So at some point, you have to decide, are we keeping this animal alive because I'll feel better, or are we keeping this animal alive to make it suffer and hurt?
And I take my hat off to the public for the effort they made on the beach. Really commendable, getting involved, ensuring that the animals are as comfortable as possible.
Once this animal is gone, it's gone. Once the information is lost, it's lost forever. And we really need this information. That's why today is a bloody gory day, but scientifically, it's an amazing day.
And here to tell us a bit more about that short film that's called South Africa's Beached Whales, The Truth, are the makers of the film, Mike Hazel and Dan Mace, and also Lisa Swart, who's one of the scientists whom you saw on the film just now. Good morning and welcome to the show, guys.
Good morning.
Wow, incredible creation that you guys have put together. Mike, tell me about what made it so necessary for you to go out and try and make this possible?
Well, to be completely honest, I think part of the beauty of that particular piece is that it was actually not planned. I mean, it was something that Dan and a guy called Gary Katz, who's another one of our freelance videographers and editors, actually, they saw, I think it was online, something about the whales having beached themselves, and we've been following it over the course of the weekend. And Dan looked at Gary and said, we need to go shoot this. We need to tell the story. We need to find out what's going on.
Yeah. And what is it that you aim to achieve with this?
I think that with any piece of content like this, because it's a love project, because we believe in trying to spread a message and sharing the important information that is uncovered when you go and investigate these kinds of stories with other people. We wanted to try to create a piece of content that people could share with one another and to give them an insight into what actually happens to these beautiful creatures after they wash up on the beach. And I think that was part of what got us collectively so excited about carrying on.
And Dan, as the man who's responsible for directing this piece, the short film, do you think it will go as far as touching people on that kind of emotional level that'll, give them a bit more interest in wanting to take part in these kind of situations?
When it comes to creating awareness with online film, the strongest contact point is actually the public.
Yeah.
So we can go out and we can create something informative about a great message, but at the end of the day, we need the public to get involved and to share the video across platforms. That's the only real way. And I mean, we went out because there was a fine line between the authorities and the public, speaking about the fact that, them performing these euthanasias on the beach was actually cruel. That was the sort of push for us as a company to go ahead and say, we want to speak on the side from the authorities and find out, the true story behind it and the actual research. That's where Lisa obviously came in.
And Lisa, I mean, obviously having done all of that work, gathered all of the data and the information, what have you learned? Why is it that this happened? Why did the whales beach?
Worldwide there are several theories why whales mass strand like this. Nobody's 100% sure, but they are deep divers, which means they echolocate to navigate. Mm-hmm. And when they get into shallow waters, they often get disorientated. Or if one of the whales is injured, it will strand itself, and because they are gregarious animals, they have to stay together, so the whole pod will strand as well.
Wow.
So, and South Africa also has a geomagnetic anomaly around our coast, so that could also affect their navigation. We just don't know, 100% sure.
Wow. And so when it comes to that decision, I mean, you were talking about it just now, of making that final call to say, yes, we are going to euthanize the whales. Who has to make that decision and why?
Look, on the day of the stranding, I was the incident manager, but we had a joint operations of command with all the institutions. We had two wildlife qualified vets. We had the wildlife unit of the SPCA there. And they right throughout the day monitored the condition of the whales. And we could see which ones had the greatest chance of survival, and those were the ones that we refloated. The ones that we could see the breathing was labored, you could see they had no flap left over. They were actually just not doing well. Those were the ones that were euthanized.
Sure.
They were also stranded the night before already, so by the time we got to them, the first guy walked on the beach and reported it.
Yeah.
They've been out of the water a long time.
So what then happens afterwards, after that procedure is administered?
Then the waste department takes the carcasses away, and they usually just go to the dump, but we always request the carcasses so that we can do a necropsy. A necropsy is an autopsy on mammals. And we try and collect as much scientific information that we can. We do morphological measurements, we weigh organs, we keep the teeth for aging, we look at the stomach content. And it's very smelly and stinky and yucky, but the information is there forever. It's not, as a marine biologist, you can collect a fish to study.
Yeah.
You can't collect a whale to study. So stranding is our sampling method.
But thank you very much for delivering this powerful message to us, and to you guys as well for putting this project together. Where can people get it? Is it online? Is it available freely?
Well, it's up on YouTube. If you want to, you could go and follow us on YouTube, our YouTube platform. We AVA Online.
Sure.
Or follow us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. So just search the video on YouTube, and we ask everybody to get involved and actually share this message. Because
and the film is called South Africa's Beach Whales, The Truth. Have a look at that on YouTube and spread the message. Wow, powerful project these guys have put together. We'll see you right after the break.